Well, hi, everybody. It's a big weekend on the Kentucky Derby Trail with not one, not two, but 3 point-scoring races on Saturday. I'm Jay Privman, joined by Marty McGee. We do the Derby Watch Top 20 every week. And Marty, a number of horses on our list are going to be running this weekend, but no race more significant than the San Felipe Stakes. I'll be at that race out here in California at Santa Anita. We have 4 horses on our Derby Watch Top 20 expected to run in this race. And let's start with 1,000 Words. He has run 3 times. He has won all 3 of his starts, and he comes off a victory in the Robert Lewis Stakes about 4 weeks ago. I think this horse is a tenacious fighter. He's not flashy, but they can't get by him. What do you think of this horse, Marty?
Yeah, that's him coming through horses. You know, he's defeated Ano Dior, and then he defeated this field. The fact that there's 4 horses essentially together inside the 8th pole doesn't really speak too well of him, but he will have the chance to go ahead and show what he's made of here, Jay. He's going to race against Authentic, the other Baffert horse, Storm the Court, and then the horse you really are high on, Honor AP in the San Felipe on Saturday.
It's going to be a small field, but a quality filled one. Let's take a look at some of those other horses that Marty was just mentioning. Let's go now to Authentic, like 1,000 Words. He is trained by Bob Baffert. Completely different horse, Marty. A much flashier horse, a faster horse early. But he showed quite a bit of greenness last time when winning the Sham Stakes. Kind of left the mark of Zorro as he came through the stretch. What do you think of this colt?
Yeah, Z's all over the place. You don't know what to make of the way he switches over to his left lead, lugs in. Drayden's he's reining him in there. Don't know what to make. I assume that Bob and Jimmy Barnes have worked on that quite a bit in the 9 weeks that have transpired since then. But as you said, very flashy in terms of leading to that point and drawing off the way that he did.
I talked to Bob Baffert about this colt, and he told me that he has not been behaving like that in his recent works. But just to be safe, they are going to put earplugs in his ears for the race on Saturday and see if that maybe can prevent him from being as green as he was last time. Marty alluded to Honor AP. As he mentioned, this is a horse that I'm extremely high on. Now, he was supposed to run against Authentic in the Sham Stakes, but he had a foot bruise. He missed that race. So he's not going to be racing on Saturday for a layoff of now 4.5 months. But the last time he was seen, he won a maiden race at Santa Anita, and it was a dynamic performance. And this is one of the reasons I'm extremely high on him. This is a flashy colt. He's got a lot of chrome on him, a lot of white on his face and on his legs. He's an effortless mover. And Marty, I think this horse has a chance to be one of the ones. What do you think of him?
Very low-headed. I watched his replay of this maiden victory for the first time today, and I really like the way he got over the ground in terms of the low head as opposed to the high-headed horses that are really wasting a lot of motion. So I would think he's in there with a good chance. I would guess he'll be 3rd choice behind the 2 Baffert horses on Saturday.
And the horse is probably going to end up getting overlooked in here and maybe be as high as the 4th choice is last year's champion 2-year-old. That's Storm the Court. As you know, he won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He's had 1 race since then. It was in the 7-furlong San Vicente Stakes. It was a means to an end. And Marty, I don't know that we got much of a read on him in this race. He was running against Nadal, who's yet another Baffert who's heading to the Rebel next weekend. Storm the Court to me was just an even 4th in here, but it was at a distance far short of optimum for him. He's the number 5 horse finishing there on the outside, coming on for 4th. I don't know what to make of that race, Marty. It's an unfair race, I think, to judge him off of because it's short of his optimum distance. That said, we need to see a significant move forward, I think, on Saturday from Storm the Court. Where are you at with him?
Absolutely. I mean, with the Breeders' Cup Juvenile really not having borne itself out with him and Odor and Dennis's Moment having been the beaten favorite, I think he's got a lot to prove. Now, Peter Urton's going about it the old school way with the sprint to prep for the stretch out, but I think maybe he's up against it. He might be one of those Breeders' Cup Juvenile winners we've had in the past, Jay, that just didn't pan out like Wilco and Anise and some of the others.
Well, there were a small field entered in the San Felipe Stakes. By contrast, a very large field for the race that you're at, that being the Tampa Bay Derby. An interesting chance it scratched out of the Fountain of Youth last week. because he had a wide post. He goes in this race. He'll be going back around 2 turns, very fast horse. Where are you at with this horse, Marty, coming off that hard-fought win that he had last time in the Macho Man against As Seen on TV, who was 3rd in the Fountain of Youth?
Well, we're taping this around 3 o'clock Eastern on Wednesday, the day of entries. It would be quite ironic if Chance had got the 12-hole. They're expecting 12 3-year-olds for this race. Here is Chance on the inside against As Seen on TV and the Macho Man. I thought that As Seen on TV had him the whole way, but Chance had battled back. He's now won 4 out of 6. The line maker here, John Rose at Tampa, was really torn as to who to make the favorite here between Chance and Sol Volante. Sol Volante was 3rd in that same Macho Man race before he came back and won the Sam Davis. So it ought to be close in terms of the odds here in the mile 16th Tampa Bay Derby. With those two, the other 10, quite a bit of separation in terms of the odds, maybe 8 or 10 to 1 on the 3rd choice in this race.
And Chance and Sol Volante are the 2 horses on our Derby Watch Top 20 who are in this race. As you mentioned, Sol Volante came out of the Macho Man to win the Sam Davis. We'll take a look at the Sam Davis now. I was really impressed with this horse's race, Marty. Granted, he had a fast pace to run into, but he made an extended run, and when he got to the leader, he kept on going. And I think it's really hard to make an extended 3/8 or 3.5 furlong run and keep on going, and he did. And I take this horse very seriously. What do you think of him?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a good chance. I think it was a difference in the pace in the Macho Man versus the way they really scorched it early. And the beautiful trip that he got, Sol Volante, behind that pace here at Tampa in the Sam Davis 4 weeks ago. So there figures to be a lot of pace in here, Jay, with the big field. That's the way it usually happens. And, maybe we'll see Patrick being going forward with not 1 but 2 Kentucky Derby contenders after the way that Ete Indienne won off last week.
So the San Felipe and the Tampa Bay Derby, both worth 85 points overall and 50 to the winner. Those are 2 of the 3 races that are being run this weekend as Derby preps. The other one is the Gotham Stakes, which also has a pretty large field. It's in New York. There aren't any horses currently on our Derby watch list who have made the cut for the top 20, but considering that the winner of that race is going to get 50 points, if that horse is intended to move on towards the Kentucky Derby, you'll probably see him on our list next week. These 3 races that Marty and I just discussed, we will review them next week and preview the Rebel Stakes on next week's show. For this weekend, not only will you find this preview, but you'll also find another video where we review last week's Fountain of Youth. For Marty McGee, I'm Jay Privman. Thanks for watching.